Well, today we're launching NHS Check Oldham and we're focusing on A&E services. What we're aiming to do is to do these every quarter, focusing on different parts of the NHS and the impact of this government's Health and Social Care Act and other legislation that will be affecting the NHS. If we look at just A&E very briefly, we know 30 out of the last 52 weeks there have been breaches in the 4-hour A&E target and our local acute provider, Penn Acute. And we also need to look at what the reasons are behind that. And again, locally we know that there are issues around delayed discharges. So it's really important for us to do this, but also capture the positive and personal experiences that people face. We really value our NHS, and this is about supporting and helping the NHS now and in the future. In terms of the NHS check, that before you go, I'll give you a copy of that document of your experience, and we've got it in the document too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that sound
Thank
good?
you. Thank you.
So David, can you tell me what your story is and your experience having used accident and emergency services in Oldham?
Well, 4 months ago I was working in the garden and had chest pains, and my wife decided I should go directly to A&E, and she took me to Royal Oldham, and I walked in and I was explained who I was and what the problem was, and I was immediately given a card saying ECG please, and this enabled me to walk straight through past everybody else into the to the nurses, and I was then given an ECG and other tests. And they decided,
what sort of other tests did you have?
Well, they did some initial blood tests, but they couldn't decide exactly what the problem was, and so they could decide that I needed admitting, so I was admitted to the acute medical unit in Oldham, and there I had other tests, in particular special blood tests, which had to be done at intervals, so I was kept in overnight. And the next day, from these blood tests, they told me that I had a mild to moderate heart attack, and that I would be seen by the cardiologist. This was on a Sunday morning.
Right, that was pretty
because
quick then, wasn't it?
I'd had the actual incident on a Saturday afternoon, so it was a weekend issue.
Yeah.
But on the Sunday, that was what I was told, and on the Sunday I also saw the cardiac rehab nurse, so they were already planning for my discharge before I'd even had anything done, and that was, I thought, extremely good.
Absolutely.
On the Monday morning I saw the cardiologist who said that I would need to have an angiogram and possibly stents, which would be done at the same time. And on Tuesday I was taken by ambulance to Bury, where they have the Silver Heart unit.
Right, that's Fairfield Hospital.
At Fairfield Hospital,
Yes.
which was a very impressive facility. About midday on Tuesday I was taken down and had the angiogram, and I did have stents put in.
Right. Did you be able to see it on the screen?
I saw it on the screen. It was a bit
weird,
like yes, it was a bit like a television studio and an enormous dentist chair. They called it a procedure rather than an operation, but it was, to me, it was an operation, and I then was kept in overnight in Bury, and then I went on to the cardiac rehabilitation at Royal Oldham, which was a 10-week exercise and education course.
Was that useful?
We
Did you
had
find
talks,
it?
we
Good.
had useful talks, and the exercise, they were all very, very jolly. The physios very friendly.
And there's other people that had a similar, similar sort of experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. It was bonhomie among the
Yeah.
heart patients. And so I've just completed that now. And they discharged me last week, and what they've done now is to refer me to the cardiac specialist trainers
Yes.
at Oldham Community Leisure.
Yes.
So next week I start doing exercise sessions
Right.
there for another 6 months, all part of the treatment, because you have to be referred medically to go onto this special exercise course. So I'm still under the NHS to that extent.
Yeah.
So for me, it was probably the worst, most serious medical issue that I've had, and the NHS was there for me when I needed it. My view is that we should make sure our government and support the NHS so that it is there for anybody else in similar circumstances.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, David.
Thank you.